Michael, thank you so much for making the time to join us today.
Thank you.
4 months into the job, give us a sense of what's in your in-tray.
Well, the GRI has been around for about 17 years. It includes about 5,000 reporters in about 93 countries, so it's a truly global organization. And one of the things it's done extremely well is help enable policy all over the world and include important sustainability issues like human rights, environment, gender issues, equality, and so on. Include those into policy and a way for businesses to align and sort of uncover these issues. So going forward, though, it's more than just about the reports themselves. It's not just sustainability reports, but the process of reporting. And how can you really incorporate these issues into all decision-making in corporations and in government.
How would you describe the adoption of the guidelines that your GRI makes available globally?
Yeah, well, I mean, the adoption has been stellar, over the past few decades. So currently of the Global 250, the largest corporations in the world, 93% of them are doing sustainability reporting, and almost all of those are GRI reports. It is a truly ubiquitous standard throughout the world. So adoption has been great, but of course, you have the question of now what, right? Now that we're collecting all this information, now that organizations are talking about this information, now what do you do with that, and how do you show impact, on the world?
What about the quality of what is being reported on? Are we seeing corporates really take responsibility as global citizens and really begin to do business in a way that takes into consideration the environment, the broader community, and all its stakeholders?
Yeah, quality is definitely an issue, right? So one of the central pillars of what we do, right, is creating an environment where we have more reporters, more adoption of reporters, but also increasing the quality of those reports, as you pointed out. Now, most of the reporters that we have, I mean, greenwashing isn't nearly as big of a problem as it used to be. We have very few reporters that use our standard to basically greenwash, right? But it sometimes, especially for reporters that are just starting out, it is difficult for them to get all of the information together. So the idea is, well, you take these reporters that have low quality reports and you sort of help bring them up. Now, we're a standards organization only. We only offer the standard as a public good, but we do work with many, many partners, which is the assurance industry, with accounting organizations, management consulting organizations, and so on, all throughout the world, to be able to enhance the quality of those reports. So yes, it's a huge issue, but usually it's not really greenwashing. It's really about helping these organizations get this information and become more transparent over time.
Sub-Saharan Africa, how does this region of the world compare to other regions when it comes to the adoption of global reporting around sustainability?
Yeah, well, it's extremely important to us. As I mentioned, we have an office in South Africa. Emerging markets for us are extremely important for a couple of reasons, right? Reporting is not just about large organizations, doing big, thick sustainability reports, right? Reporting is a way for organizations to align with large-scale international movements, right? The Sustainable Development Goals, definitely a big issue for us. We're launching several initiatives here at Davos about that. So in one way, it's a way for organizations to think about and align themselves with larger trends. But there's also a foreign development approach here as well. So a lot of the foreign development that goes into emerging markets is based on standards. Standards to ensure that the money going into these areas is promoting sustainable development. And so instead of just creating sustainability reports, GRI is actually used to be able to do that, to help ensure that the money is going towards development, adhering to a standard to help these organizations grow sustainably.
And what are the biggest resistance points that you've had to contend with as an organization to really push adoption to its full maximum?
I would say probably confusion in the marketplace among all the standards, right? Because what we're seeing is, the GRI was the only standard for a very long time. Now we've helped launch new standards, right? So we've helped launch new ways of thinking about your business, like integrated reporting, which is extremely important in South Africa, as you may know. So we help our organizations not only by starting new organizations to help talk about integrated reporting, but we also have working groups on integrated reporting and help companies kind of understand how to start down that journey. Now, we're living in a world where there are more and more very narrowly focused and specific standards in the world. So for companies, it seems like, oh wow, I'm getting reporting fatigue. Everybody's asking me for reports.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not really the case, but that's the perception.
Yeah.
So we have a real communications issue, I think, in the nonprofit sector around standards to see if there's some harmonization that we can communicate.